I'm Robert Coalson, RFE Russia analyst, and this is the briefing on the Russian presidential election. Because President Putin has dominated the Russian political scene for the last 8 years, surprisingly little is known about Dmitry Medvedev, both at home and abroad. But clearly the 42-year-old lawyer is an implementer rather than an innovator. He's been a member of Putin's team for at least 17 years, and many believe the connection goes back to Putin's time in the KGB. He might best be characterized as an energetic, capable yes-man. The big question going forward is what role will Vladimir Putin play governing Russia? Some analysts believe that he would like to remove himself from the center of power, but all indications are that he intends to stay for some time to come. Russia has always, with a few short-lived exceptions, been ruled by one strong ruler, so analysts are nervous about the emerging idea of a Medvedev-Putin tandem. Both men say they can work together based on their close personal relations, but there is no institutional basis for power sharing. All the indications are that Putin will remain the dominant player. It'll be interesting to see who attends the G8 summit in Japan this summer. How do Russians feel about their country's political direction? Well, it's definitely true that after years of turmoil and instability, Russians have appreciated the last few years of relative stability, prosperity, and the resurgence of Russia on the international stage. But the question of gauging Russian political attitudes is complex because the political environment there is little short of a bell jar. There are no developed political alternatives or rival political figures in the strictly managed political stage. The fact remains that the Kremlin feels the need to keep a very tight lid on things, but nonetheless, occasional outbursts of deep dissatisfaction emerge, as with the pensioners' protests in 2005. So, is Russia building a democracy? Both Putin and Medvedev have made statements indicating that Russia is following its own path toward a democratic system. And both men have made statements that seem liberal. However, to my mind, deeds speak more convincingly, and both have been profoundly illiberal and promoted an unaccountable political system. Take one example. Medvedev is chairman of the board of Gazprom. Gazprom owns the national television network NTV. NTV provided 17 times more campaign coverage to Medvedev than to the other 3 candidates combined. That's a greater imbalance than was seen on any of the networks controlled directly by the state. I'm Robert Coalson, RFE Russia analyst, and that was the briefing on the Russian presidential election at rferl.org.